My name is Dan Bailing. I'm a member of Restoration Church for the Deaf. The Deaf Church was planted less than a year ago. The deaf had been going to interpreted services with the hearing with Pastor Greg preaching for about 10 years.
In church, we would watch the interpreter. We would ask the deaf, "Do you understand the interpreter?" They would respond, "Kind of." We would ask the deaf person next to us, "Are you understanding?" They would ask, "What do they mean?" And I would explain the verses. For the hearing, it was a complex message that was hard to explain, so we would try to summarize and explain.
Long and Mary had been earnestly praying for a pastor, and out of the blue, God answered their prayer and called Jerry Sanders and brought him here to this church, and at last, the process of planting the Deaf Church began. When a deaf pastor presents in ASL, it comes alive. It's easy to go deep and explain the symbolism and the meaning of the verses. I learned the truth from the Word because it's explained and expanded on where needed. With ASL, there's clear communication access. It's our heart language, and it allows us to take in the Word through our minds and our eyes without having to watch the interpreter and trying to figure out what they're trying to say.
When a visitor comes and they see him sign, they get it.
When a deaf person meets a hearing person, they realize they have different cultures. That's why we have separate churches here, because deaf culture and hearing culture is very different. It's not an insult to either culture. That's just the way it is. Right now, there are no deaf missionaries under the CMA. 2% know Jesus. 2%, that's all. 98% don't know.
So when I meet other deaf, I can tell they're trying to read me, so I invite them to church. I tell them, Jesus loves you. Open your life to Jesus. The Bible will tell you the truth. It's important for the deaf to realize that I'm their equal and we can communicate in the same language, and they warm up and a few become interested. I don't try to force them. I want them to feel comfortable.
So there was this deaf woman from Wisconsin Rapids. She would privately FaceTime me while her husband was very angry and raging. I would read verses of the Bible to her, and I would ask her, "What will happen to you if you die?" She was nervous and scared. I said, "Wait, you don't have to be scared of God. You can stand before Him boldly." Later, she asked me to pray for her, so I did. And finally, she got saved. She is so excited and her eyes sparkle with joy.
When I came here, I met Jerry, and through his teaching, the Word came alive. My heart was touched, and I realized how amazing Jesus is, and I decided to be baptized. Jesus is here in my life, and He's my best friend. He's awesome. Jesus is alive. It's incredible.
My desire right now is to start to develop leaders who will spread out here in Wisconsin. It's starting right here in Wausau, but my hope is to plant them in many other places.